Hey, hi everybody, limeyez back again. Now we're going to talk about the last type of lupus that I didn't tell you about in the last video because it's so rare. I myself also do have this rare type of lupus, which is definitely why I'm going to touch on it. And it's pretty new that people are talking about it. So it's not going to be everywhere. If you Google this type of lupus specifically, you will find it. But the main three types are usually what you will find in the Google search. This last type is called Tumid lupus. One of the heaviest things that it affects is your skin. As you notice, I definitely do have a lot of marks, a lot of redness on my face, a lot of skin marks. Part of it is Tumid lupus. With Tumid lupus, one of the things is that your skin, whatever touches it, whatever it can absorb, does play a factor into how your inner systems begin to work. For example, sunlight and Tumid lupus tend to have issues because once your skin soaks in the UV rays, it begins to almost immediately change the dynamic of how your antibodies in your blood is moving inside of your body, creating almost instant lupus side effects. If you have been diagnosed with Tumid lupus, or you just want the information, one of the most important things that I can tell you is protect yourself from the sun at all times. Be very vigilant about what you put onto your skin, including your scalp. Remember, that is your skin. Be very vigilant about every portion of your body because it can be anything at any time that can trigger a flare or an attack. Also, when I say be careful with the sun, I mean 12 months a year. Many people don't know this, but if you live in a snowy place and it is a sunny day and there's snow on the ground, the sunlight does have a reflection on the snow. As the UV rays do bounce off snow and you can get sunburn in the winter. A lot of people don't know that. But at any point, you can get sunburn. And with Tumid lupus, it is not a regular burn. It is very uncomfortable due to the fact that it makes the inside of your bodies feel different. Your skin may actually burn and peel like a regular sunburn, but then you may feel fatigued, you may feel tired, you may feel nauseous, you may begin to feel joint pain, and this is all from just being in the sun or getting too many rays. Now I'm going to share my personal experience with this because honestly, not a lot of people have Tumid lupus. So I'm just going to talk about what I know, what I don't know, and if anybody gets diagnosed in the future, or you just want to know, because I'm like that, I just like knowing. Now is an opportunity. So I've had lupus, SLE in general, for 13 years. More recently, I realized that I had Tumid lupus. Initially, I did not have any lupus scars. Anybody who's familiar with lupus is very familiar with the malar rash, also known as the butterfly rash. The butterfly rash is a rash that comes straight across your cheeks, just like that. And that's why they tend to call it a butterfly, because it's like here would be the wing, and this would be the butterfly's body. Now, for a long time, meaning over 5 years, I have never experienced a malar rash. After the birth of my second child, who is almost 4 now, the malar rash did begin to appear. And at first, I thought it was regular systemic lupus. But after further review by doctors and the types of rash that I got and where they were located, and how I was beginning to get them, and also blood work. As I told y'all in the last video, blood work is important. It was noticed that I do have Tumid lupus. Also, through a series of my own personal and doctor's experiments, we were able to narrow down my symptoms to the point that Tumid lupus, even before the blood work, was definitely considered an option. So, with Tumid lupus, one of the first things that I do is sun protection. I don't always want to wear a hat. I don't always want to wear sunglasses. I just don't always want to do it. So, I've had to change my skincare regimen very heavily. And because of my fair complexion as it is, and the amount of sun that I can come across at any given point, I need to be very vigilant. So I had SPF for my face and for my body. They are separate ones. If you can find ones that, you can use on both, go ahead. Especially depending on your level of sun sensitivity. Since I have a major sun sensitivity, I have to use 50 SPF at all times. If you're wondering, on my face, I do use Chanel because sometimes I do like to wear makeup, and for my situation, it works the best because it's a very light one. If you're not interested in spending $50 a bottle, that's cool too. Neutrogena has an awesome facial sunscreen, 50 SPF, and you can get it at Dwayne Reed or anything, less than $10. You can carry it in your bag, anything you want. So it definitely works out. Now, also, I do, for the day that I am ready, I try the hats. I tried the glasses, and even, and this is surprising, wigs help. I don't like to have my scalp very exposed because you can get sunburn in your scalp, and the Tumid lupus, it doesn't discriminate on any part of your skin. If your scalp is considered skin, it may look like dandruff, but it will create sores in your scalp at some point. And it can get very, very uncomfortable. What I found is that a lot of moisture in it helps. So when you're indoors, after you may have washed off your sunblock, you can try moisturizing areas that have been affected and areas that haven't, because moisture is essential to great skin anyway. But when you have different lesions, you want to moisturize. I personally try to stay as natural as possible. I use things like raw shea butter, and I also use raw coconut oil. Coconut oil definitely is a newer thing that I'm working on, but if you need it, it's actually $5.99 at Trader Joe's, and it's just a little jar, and you can cook with it. You can put it on your skin. You can put it on your hair. It's gentle enough for you to actually use on a baby. And you smell coconutty, which is pretty cool. And when it's warm, it's not overly heavy. So, it works out good. Now, like I was saying about the Tumid lupus, it does affect me the worst in the summer. I can feel, actually, as my skin burns, it feels very hot, and I can feel it. And it's actually very painful if I'm not standing in the shade or if I'm not wearing protective clothing. So in a future video, or if you already know me, you will notice that I sometimes do wear thin pants in the summer. So, and that's part of why. Now, with the symptoms, sometimes you may feel dizzy immediately after being in the sun. You may feel tired. You may feel like you're going to pass out. One of the things you need to do is stay hydrated, especially if you're already on medication. You do not want to overheat while you're medicated. You do not want to do it. It can cause a hospital stay that you really don't want. And hospital stays with lupus, really, I'm going to tell you, they are not fun. Because there's a lot of blood draws. And not every doctor is completely familiar with lupus shit. So you don't want to do that. So it's best with the Tumid lupus to try to avoid the sunlight. Try to figure out, and I know this sounds kind of weird, but which rays affect you the most. There are UVA rays and there are UVB rays. Me personally, I have the most trouble with UVB rays. Now, because of that, UVB rays are inflorescent lighting. So I also have to make it my business to be careful of the type of lighting that I'm around. So I have to limit myself to more natural versions of light. I tend to use candles or bulbs that I know how they're going to be, like how they work with UVA or UVB. I do not use any type of tanning equipment whatsoever, because even synthetic UV light can be damaging. So, with all of that said, since this video has already been pretty long, I'm going to wrap this up, and hopefully somebody finds this useful. If you need any more help, if you want to see another video, if you want to talk about it, leave a comment or anything like that. And, I'll definitely open up another video for discussion. But for now, that's Tumid lupus, and then we're going to hit another topic.